What do it do, YouTube? It is your boys, Frank, and in charge of BB's Stan, and our special guest, our newest addition to the team, Mr. Tro. What is up, Tro?
What is up?
Yeah, Frank, nobody cares about what's up with you. But yeah,
Shut the hell up.
it, Frank and I have this thing where it's on site if we ever meet in real life. Like, we just gotta throw hands. Like, and he don't want to throw hands with me, I can promise you that. So, because
All right, you need to shut up so I can tell everybody what show we're. I
See,
almost said what
no,
show
hang
we're
on,
at.
hang on. You all see the way this dude talks to me? He talks to me like I'm his bitch, and it's the other way around. Let's get that straight real quick.
But
But
anyway, you need to shut up so I can tell everybody what show we're reviewing
no,
today.
you need to not disrespect me in front of the people.
Anyway, so today we are going to be reviewing the May 29th, 2003 SmackDown, which featured one of my favorite segments of all time, the Mr. America Mr. McMahon lie detector test. This was I still remember cracking up to this day watching that segment as a kid. Tro, this was before you became a fan, right? But you
Yes.
yeah, you have seen this show though, and that
Yeah,
that lie detector, you love that segment, right?
of
Or how
course.
you feel about it? Yeah, that was a phenomenal segment. So, to start the show, they do a video package like they always usually do. You do a little video package showing last week's SmackDown, where there was a match between Sean O'Hare and I believe it was Sean O'Hare versus Mr. America. And if O'Hare lost, Piper would be fired. But if Mr. America lost, he would have to take a lie detector test. Well, you've already said that the lie detector segment happens on the show, so you know what
You
happens
already
there.
fucking spoiled it. Way to go!
And then they show a graphic on the screen to show the main event of tonight, the final segment of the night, a 2-on-3 handicap match between the FBI and Big Show and Lesnar. So then
Show and Lesnar or Taker and Lesnar?
Undertaker and Lesnar, my bad.
I was gonna say, I think I
Undertaker.
saw
I,
this
I,
on YouTube once.
I think we're overlooking something in that promo there.
What are we overlooking?
Pure evil Vince McMahon,
Hmm.
who goes up to
Yeah.
Zach Gowen with one leg with cops.
Oh
Says
right, yes.
that man has a weapon and takes his cane.
Hey, listen. Mr. McMahon went up and said, "This man attacked me at Judgment Day," and yeah, he did. It's all on tape. So arrest that man. He's technically trespassing on WWE property. Look, as they say, we have the right to refuse anybody. It's Mr. McMahon's business, and he has the right to refuse whoever he wants. So Zach Allen
Only,
got arrested that night.
only Frank could justify arresting a person with disabilities. Only Frank could justify that.
It's true though. It's true. We have the right to refuse anyone. And in this night, the
I have,
owner.
so I have the right to refuse you. Yes.
No, you don't. I run this damn channel. I have the right to refuse you.
What the fuck are you smoking, dog?
The fuck are you smoking? But anyway,
Well, no,
um,
right now nothing. I'm not even drinking booze. I got no.
so
I
it
got smoke or drink. I got this. I'm drinking soda.
So this is a great way to kick the show off. But avert your eyes if you want technical 5-star Dave Meltzer shit. Avert your eyes. This was a great way to kick off the show, unless that's what you're looking for. Sable comes out, and so the prior week before this, Sable's pissed off at Taz because Taz was the official for that amazing bikini contest from Judgment Day, the greatest segment in the history of that pay-per-view, Judgment Day.
By the way,
And
folks, before we continue, sorry to interrupt, Frank, but before we
yeah,
continue, I got a question. I want answered down in the comment section down below. It's a simple yes or no down below in the comments. Does Molly Holly have cake? Frank seems to think that
that
she.
isn't. You are blind if you think she doesn't.
Does Sable have cake?
Yes, Yes, she does. Have you watched that Judgment Day bikini contest? You must not if you don't think she does.
Molly Holly don't have cake though. I'm sorry. She's just
Yes, she
to me.
does.
To me, Gail Kim
See,
has better cake than Molly Holly.
They must
What?
be really good bakers.
yeah, that was hilarious.
No, for baking good.
That must be what Christian is talking about too. But Gail Kim must be some phenomenal baker if that's what you if she got cake
She did marry a
because
chef.
if you're talking about what I think you're talking about, you're way off.
Okay,
Especially with Molly Holly.
Frank thinks that Molly Holly has a nice ass.
Yes,
No,
way better than Gail Kim's.
no. Get the dog. Get the out of here.
Anyway,
Continue.
so as I was saying, Taz or Sable is pissed off with Taz because Taz was the official in the Judgment Day segment, the greatest segment in the history of that pay-per-view, where the bikini challenge between Sable and Tori, and of course Tori won that because the crowd reacted for Tori, but the man who made the decision there, due to the reaction from the crowd, was Taz. So that pissed Sable off. And the week before this show, Sable threw water on Taz. And so they put that over on commentary. And Sable comes out and she announces that in this next match, it features this person from Loserville, USA. And weighing in
Hey,
at
your
way
hometown,
too much.
Frank. Your
That
hometown.
ain't my, that ain't my hometown. That's your hometown.
I was
And
about to ask
Wade,
where.
So, I
I
mean,
was about to ask where Losertown, USA is located.
it's located in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Home of Mr. Kennedy.
Oh yeah, I guess so. And so Loserville, USA, and weighs way too much. And of course, she's referring to Tori Wilson. And then she says,
Boise, isn't she?
"What?
Tori's from Boise.
Yeah, Boise. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Loserville, USA, Loserville Town, USA. That's Frank. That's where Frank lives. He was born there. He was raised there, and that's where he lives currently.
no. Anyway, so
He's a queen, folks.
now she announces Nydia, who she says is somebody who needs to talk to me about fashion. So that's what we get. We get Nydia with Jamie Noble against Tori Wilson to start off the show, and this was an entertaining way to start off the show here. At one
Any
point in the match,
start off with Tori Wilson is entertaining.
oh no doubt about it. At one point in the match, Tori is selling her leg that she injured her leg doing a knee leapfrog. And I guess, hey, a leapfrog. There you go. For all the Dave Meltzers out there, Tori Wilson did a leapfrog. So I guess she's a star now. She injures her leg doing a leapfrog. Noble at one point in the match is able to distract Tori Wilson, leading to Nydia doing a roll up. And then at the end, we get a little bit after Nydia wins the match off that roll up. We get a little bit of entertainment where Taz comes in and beats the hell out of Noble for interfering, and then Sable throws water on Taz once again.
Yeah,
So
folks,
Taz gets the water again. Okay, so Tro, what do you think about this match and everything that followed and before it?
Thought it was a fine match. It's always nice to see Jamie Noble. Even
Of course, yeah.
yeah, this Jamie Noble before the whole Nydia blinding thing. So this was like pretty much prime Jamie Noble.
Oh, I agree with that. Everything with Jamie Noble running with Nydia, and even up to that feud with Nydia, Jamie Noble was phenomenal at this point because the character he had, and Nydia just added so much to that character. He was more than just a cruiserweight at this point. So, and this was prime cruiserweights, man. You didn't just have a bunch of flip flop guys. You had characters like Noble, like Matt Hardy, version 1, even Tajiri, who was on this show and has a really good entertaining thing going on at this point. I guess we're not going to get Christian's thoughts on this.
I don't know.
So,
He's too pissed off about the cake comments.
I'll be right back, folks. I'm sorry.
so
I
now,
saw
Oh,
that
there he is.
huge
Oh,
mountain
okay,
sideways.
of pudding. Hang on.
just in time for him to give his opinion.
Oh, there he goes again.
Yeah. Oh,
This is
what the
gonna
hell?
This is gonna be clipped. CJ
Hang
keeps
on,
on
folks.
disappearing.
I apologize. I'll
Yeah,
be right
CJ.
back. I'm just cleaning up some chocolate pudding that got on my wall, and I just now noticed it. I'm cleaning that up right now as we speak. I apologize. I'll be right back.
Okay. Bro, I swear the background thing, I don't know why people do that on YouTube. The fake backgrounds like he's doing there. I get it that because we're watching an '03 SmackDown, so he's got the '03 SmackDown background. But every time you like peek in the way he was doing there, it's like it's this weird thing of like he turns all white and comes back.
Yeah.
Like it just looks weird. I don't know why people do that. To me, it looks weird. Anyway, you mentioned you wanted to talk about little evil Mr. McMahon. Well, it doesn't get more evil than this. A black limo shows up. Vince steps out and he tells the limo driver, "Stay here. Do not move this limo not once tonight. We are staying parked right here." So limo driver tells him, "This is a handicap spot." It's like, "I don't give a damn. We are staying right here. Do not move it." And then he leaves. Um, then they show the two detectives working on the lie detector. They hook it up to Stephanie. They ask if she's the GM of SmackDown. She passes it by saying yes. And then they ask her, "Have you ever cheated on your taxes?" To which Stephanie does, "Wow, you guys go for the big questions." She starts ripping off the lie detector stuff. She's like, "Man, you guys go right into the big questions. You know what? This lie detector works. So you guys use it. It's good to go."
I love
And then
how she goes from, I don't know if this will work, to, well, it definitely didn't lie. I'm definitely the GM of SmackDown. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna take
uh,
my word for it. Definitely
once
works.
once they once they start asking about those taxes, you kind of start, feeling a little different about that lie detector test. What do you think about Vince in the limo though?
Of course, but I don't know. 2003 Vince. I don't know what it is. Actually, mid 2000, like 2003, 2006 Vince.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, his evilness is just turned up to an 11. The
Yes, and
dude,
I'm here for it.
the dude wants to park in handicap spots. He's attacking people with one leg.
Yep. I I have said this all I'm sure I've said this a few times on the podcast, not necessarily with you, because we don't actually cover too much evil Mr. McMahon on the 206 shows we have done. But Pete, not PWI, Meltzer's little magazine, the
Observer.
oh, what Observer, yeah, they rated the worst promotional tactic of 2003 being McMahon's all over the show. I'm sorry. McMahon's all over the show was what made the product great in 2003. Mr. McMahon being as evil can get, Stephanie being the SmackDown GM to try to essentially be the foil for the evil Mr. McMahon. You throw Sable into that feud, making it even more crazier. And then you got Shane over on Raw feuding with Kane after Kane tombstoned Linda McMahon on the steel. That McMahon's all over the product was the best thing for 2003. It was nowhere near the worst promotional tactic. There you go. You go no back. You don't need that background. That looks weird. Stay like that. No, I'm serious. I'm not joking. You don't need that background. That look weird as hell.
Sorry
So
about that. I apologize for that, folks. I apologize. I just
okay,
noticed,
you
I just noticed that some chocolate pudding actually
right?
fell off my thing, and I didn't even notice it made a mess until I looked here and I saw the stuff dripping on my wall. I'm like, shit, I better clean this up while I can. And so that's what I was doing. So I apologize for that.
right? You said that already, but let's get caught up here.
I'm
Your
so
thoughts
I don't
on
even know. That's all.
your thoughts on Noble, not Noble, Nydia versus Tori Wilson.
Oh, that's a great match. Tori Wilson's a great wrestler. I'm sorry, she is.
She is definitely, yes.
Facts.
Um,
And she
and then
has
after
and she has more cake than Molly Holly.
up there, she's up there with Molly. Ain't no doubt about that.
Who's got more cake,
So
Trish
now,
or Molly?
huh?
Who's got more cake, Trish or Molly?
Trish is the queen when it comes to that.
Facts.
Her and Mandy are the queens of cake. Um,
What kind
Black Limousine. Okay, so Black. This is for you because me and Troll already went over this. Black Limousine comes out.
Yeah, I heard
Vince
that.
comes.
I was listening.
What
Yeah,
are your thoughts on that?
he parked in the handicap spot. He told the driver,
Yeah,
"Don't go anywhere at all." And
Vince being a good deal.
that's just being a heel. Hey,
Yeah,
hey, I have a handicap parking spot, like a parking pass. I have one of those, so I can park in a handicap spot. Don't use it
right.
very often, but like if it's like a place is busy or whatever, or like the entrance is really far, we use it. We use it
Mhm.
at Disney. We use it at Universal. So anyway, continue. So
And then the two detectives testing out the lie detector with Stephanie. What'd you think about
yeah,
that?
that was funny. You know, you guys ask the big questions. Yeah, that was funny. You know, I'm sure she has. But yeah, continue.
And they show Team Angle getting ready for their tag title match between not the Los Guerreros because Chavo Guerrero is currently injured at this time. He got injured at a house show.
Eddie
So
and
it's
Jerry,
Eddie
right?
Guerrero and Tajiri who are shown next backstage. Tajiri is got on a cheat to win shirt and
Yeah.
I believe a Los Guerreros, some type of Los Guerreros hat on. And
He
Eddie's
looked like
congratulating yeah. Eddie congratulates him on showing a little Latino heat, to which Tajiri says, no, no, no. Tajiri heat. I can't
Yeah.
say it like Tajiri, of course, but that's what
Jerry.
Tajiri says. And then Eddie says, all right, time to walk out. We gotta go wrestle our tag titles match here. Tajiri's like, no, we're not walking. And he shows him keys, and Eddie's like, "You got wheels? You got wheels? Where'd you get those?" Tajiri says, we lie, we cheat, we steal." I say,
I love that segment.
um,
That was fantastic. I
yeah,
love.
it was funny too when Tajiri said it. Tajiri Tajiri teaming with Eddie Guerrero was one of the best moments of his career,
Was
up
this
there with
was this
what?
before? Was this when he was he a? Did he turn face with this, or
Yes,
was
he was baby. He was baby at this time.
he
Yes.
was a baby? Did he ever turn back
Okay.
heel, or was he a baby for the rest of
No,
his?
he turned heel
No,
once
later in the year.
he
Later in
turned
the year.
heel against Tajiri after they lost the tag title match.
No, he's talking about Tajiri. He's
I'm
talking
talking
about Tajiri turns. Yeah,
Oh,
Tajiri does turn heel
yeah.
again later in the year.
yeah, yeah,
After the feud with Eddie that leads to the four-way at SummerSlam, he turns heel, becomes cruiserweight champ at No Mercy.
gotcha.
But yeah, this would be this. I'd put this just above the whole commissioner thing where it's Regal with Tajiri. Tajiri was great there too, and his heel run at the aforementioned heel run here late 2003 was great too. 2003 was just an underrated year for Tajiri.
Yeah,
Um,
he had some
so you guys have
with Rey Mysterio as well.
yeah.
Sorry, I know
So
you don't like hearing that, Frank, but they were good matches.
no, I agree. What are you talking about?
But I know you don't care
See,
about great.
this was back when the cruiserweights were actually damn interesting and actually had something going on and not just being a bunch of flip flop and essentially all the shit we were talking about in that 6-man cruiserweight Texas tornado extravaganza,
Open
whatever.
invitational.
Open invitational extravaganza, Texas tornado. Speaking of Texas, let me just say real quick, y'all know I've said it plenty of times that I am a big fan of Houston rap, and I just want to say real quick, rest in peace, Big Pokey, a legend in Houston. If you haven't heard of Big Pokey, if you have heard of the Paul Wall track "Sitting Sideways," you have heard Big Pokey because he's featured on that song. So rest in peace, Big Pokey, Houston legend. Sadly passed away way too young. He was doing a show on Saturday and just passed out on stage
Yeah.
and was rushed to the hospital, and sadly he he didn't make it, sadly.
Yeah,
So
that's
rest in peace, Pokey.
RIP.
Yep. So getting back to the show though, what do you guys think of this Eddie? Of course, Team Angle just walking in to the match. That we don't have to talk about that.
This was
Eddie and Tajiri backstage.
this was awesome. I loved this.
Yes, yes,
Hilarious.
no doubt. Is Tro frozen?
Nope, I'm still here. My head's still moving.
Okay. Okay, I don't. You're frozen on my end, but as long as we can hear you.
When he talks,
What do
though, his visuals are a little delayed.
Yeah,
Is it?
Mhm.
I could
yeah, a
see-
little bit.
I see that.
Your visuals are delayed for you. I can't see them at all. But what do you think about this Eddie Tajiri segment here?
Oh, I thought it was a good segment. It's always nice to see Tajiri and
Yeah.
him and Eddie. They didn't tag for long, but when they did, it was entertaining enough. They did
Yes.
the job good.
Yes, I agree. They did not. The WWE was very smart to make sure that they can keep the. I hate the word momentum because that means wins and losses and shit. But from an entertainment standpoint, Los Guerreros had momentum. The crowd was behind them,
Fire, right?
and the
Fire.
what?
Keep their
What?
fire.
Yeah, keep their fire. That's a good way to put it. That's a good way, especially Latino Heat. They found a good way to keep their fire, even with Chavo being gone. Even with Chavo being gone, you bring in Tajiri, and Tajiri has a history of showing he can be entertaining. He
Yeah.
did the stuff with William Regal, and well, look, he fit in perfectly here with Eddie Guerrero, and I loved it. And speaking of when Chavo came back, shout out to John Cena for rocking the Brian Urlacher jersey the night Chavo came back, that parking lot brawl. Shout out to Cena for that. So next up, at the aforementioned tag title match, Eddie and Tajiri defending against Team Angle. And this match, I mean, look, Team Angle and the Los Guerreros were killing it on the SmackDown division in 03. Speaking of the SmackDown division in 03, there's another team that killed it in this division that year that makes their debut on this show. We will get to that later. But this was a phenomenal match here. This was a fun tag match here. Eddie and I think. Hold on. Okay, Eddie gets disqualified, so that means.
They retain.
Oh no! Actually, Team Angle gets disqualified, which means Eddie and Tajiri retain. Either way, whoever gets disqualified, Eddie and Tajiri retain. But Eddie and Tajiri won this match. This was a great tag match. The Team Angle and Los Guerreros had much better tag matches on SmackDown and at Backlash when it was Eddie and Chavo, not Eddie and Tajiri. But this match itself was pretty damn good. What do you guys think about it?
What's on your TV in the background there, Frank?
La Femme Nikita.
Oh, God.
That's an underrated show, man.
God. Just help us.
All right, what do you guys think about this tag match?
It was a great match. Eddie and Tajiri worked really solid as a team. I like that.
Yeah.
And of course,
Charles?
Team Angle, I mean, of course they were going to work together well. Of course they were going to be great wrestlers. You know, that's what they do. They're amateur wrestlers. So that's
I think
what they are.
I think Eddie and Tajiri have great chemistry, and it works well together with Team Angle because Eddie already has good chemistry with them. So
Right.
you just put it together, and it's always going to be a pretty decent match.
Yeah. At
Yeah.
worst, it's going to be pretty decent.
Yeah.
Next, they show Mr. America sitting in his locker room with his hands on his head. He's of course worrying about this lie detector, and then we get to what we're here to talk about. The best segment of the night. Vince McMahon. I almost said Hulk Hogan. Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon, I should say,
Hulk
because he
Hogan
is the
wasn't in
heel.
this segment. What do you mean?
Hulk
He
Hogan
was not. That's
fired.
why I made a mistake. I almost said Hogan for some reason. I don't know why. I meant Mr. America. This is Mr. McMahon, Mr. America. So Mr. McMahon comes out. He's getting ready to start this little segment when he realizes somebody's sitting at ringside. And again, earlier in the night, Taz did say, "Hey, when you're a paying customer, can't get kicked out." Well, again, Taz, I'm sorry to tell you, maybe this was pre-YouTube, so Taz maybe not seen any of these public freakouts. But you can say what you want about Zach Gowen being a paying customer and getting to sit there and watch the show. We have the right to refuse service. If Mr. McMahon sees Zach Gowen and says, "Get that man out of my building," which for the night it was his building, the security has to listen and kick Zach Gowen out. We have the right to refuse service. Watch
Vince
those public freakouts.
Vince McMahon is discriminating against people with special needs. Just saying.
Mr. McMahon. He's a heel. He's the heel, Mr. McMahon here.
Mr. McMahon is discriminating
Yeah.
against people with special needs.
Yes. So Mr. McMahon comes out. He says, as I mentioned, he's about to point out Zach Gowen sitting ringside, but first he says, once this test is done, Mr. America's contract will be null and void. And for some reason, he brings up the fact that so will Hulk Hogan, which I don't know what Hulk Hogan has to do with any of this. I really don't. But he had to bring up Hulk Hogan, who was fired after WrestleMania, who had not been seen since WrestleMania. But this was paranoid Mr. McMahon. For some reason, he thinks this Mr. America guy is Hulk Hogan. So then he sees Zach Gowen sitting at ringside.
Why would you think that Mr. America is Hulk Hogan?
I have no clue. Bro,
they don't even look alike. Hulk Hogan doesn't wear a mask or blue.
Facts.
Yeah.
And the Fu Manchu that Hogan got, I mean that Mr. America got, that's a work. That thing ain't real. That's a work. Hulk Hogan's Fu Manchu is real. Yeah. Mr. America's Fu Manchu is like glued on or something. Yeah. That's a work.
That's a fact.
Ain't no doubt about it.
That is a fact, my friend.
So he sees Zach Gowen sitting ringside, and again, Mr. McMahon gets a little more heel heat on Zach Gowen here. He says, once Mr. America fails this lie detector test, Zach, you will not have a leg to stand on.
He's gonna steal his leg?
I guess so, but I thought that Roddy Piper had done that already.
Maybe Vince will just keep it.
Once again, just discriminatory, but
so the lie detector test begins. Mr. America comes out, gets hooked up, and they start asking him questions. It's the normal. They do the normal thing where the police have to ask normal questions just to make sure the thing. Like if it was you, Tro, they would ask you, "Are you Tro?" They ask your last name. You say yes. Ding. Okay. Then they'll have to ask some other real questions. Ding. That. Oh yeah. And then Mr. McMahon's going. Ask him the real question. He says it after every question. Ask him the real question, damn it. Ask him the real question, damn it. And the authority, the policeman's like, sir, there's a certain way we have to do this, blah, 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 blah. He asks another legit question. Hogan gets, or Mr. America gets it right. And
damn it, Frank.
Mr. McMahon, I don't know why I keep thinking he's Hogan. It makes no sense. Why are you
accusing Mr. America of being Hulk Hogan? They're nothing alike.
I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just making mistakes here. I didn't mean to say Hogan.
Franklin.
So they ask one more question that Mr. America gets right, and Vince's like, damn it, you ask him the question right now. So they ask him, are you Mr. America? Are you Hulk Hogan? Mr. America takes this long pause. Just looks around, takes this long pause, like building it up, and then finally he moves into the mic more and goes, no. Ding. Like, what does this mean? Mr. McMahon's asking the police, like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And the police officer's like, well, this means that Mr. America has passed. Mr. America has passed his lie detector. Mr. McMahon gets furious. He's like, ask him again. And at some point, they ask him again, get a ding, and like, he's Mr. America. Yeah, he's Hulk Hogan. Yes, 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 yes. And then Hogan,
no.
And then the lie detector goes ding, 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 ding. That was hilarious. If you end the segment off here, just ending it off that would have been absolutely hilarious. But then they have to take it to another level and make this a seriously iconic segment. Mr. McMahon is like, you know what, damn it? Anybody can pass this lie detector, and I'm going to prove it by taking it myself. So he sits down in the lie detector and says, this thing, there's a very good reason why these lie detectors aren't admissible in court. There's a very good reason for that. So then he sits down and is asked the question by Mr. America, are you the biggest asshole on God's green earth? And this is hilarious. Mr. McMahon says no. You hear, and then just Mr. McMahon's reaction tells it perfectly. He's like, I am? It's hilarious as hell. So then he asked him.
A blindfolded, stuck in the basement Stevie Wonder could have answered that question.
So then, McMahon actually said something really funny too, right before getting Mr. America on the lie detector test. He said, "Don't feel like you're the only one I'm doing this to. All my corporate employees are forced to take lie detector tests." So next, after the biggest asshole question, Mr. America asked him something to the effect of, oh, are you a perverted, self-serving jerk, stuff like that? He says no. Another, and he's like, you know what? Mr. McMahon's like, you know what? I do everything I do for all the fans out there. All right. I do it for some of you. He's like, you know what? I do everything what I do for myself and myself only. Ding. And then Taz's like, well, he got one right. And then the whole And then Mr. America says, if you're not perverted, is it true that you pleasure yourself to Tori Wilson's Playboy? He says, no. And it goes, all right. Well, it's been a long time. That was a long time ago. It was all right. It was earlier this morning. All right. It was in the limo on the way to the show. But at least I don't know. That was right. But then he says, what do you say? How you say? See, you threw me off there.
At least I'm not attracted to all the Mae Youngs of this world.
Yeah, and then you get So just a hilarious segment. 10 out of 10 in my book. What do you guys think about it?
So Mr. McMahon likes that dry pie. Gotcha.
That drive-by. Oh my gosh.
That's what that is.
Oh my gosh. That is just horrible. That is just horrible. Hey, it's Tori Wilson. It's hard to blame him, but my gosh.
It ain't pie either. It's just that dry, gross pie.
Whoa. What are you talking about dry and gross for Tori Wilson? No, are you talking about the Mae Young?
About Mae Young.
Okay.
No, Tori's got straight up fucking cake.
Now, wait a minute. We have seen Mae Young in a bikini contest, if you remember.
New Year's
Revolution.
That was dry-ass pie. That was dry-ass pie.
And Royal Rumble 2000. And then she was in a very revealing outfit at Bad Blood 2003. We've seen too much of Mae Young. Our childhood is ruined.
That's
because
a fact. Yes.
Oh my gosh. So any other thoughts on this iconic segment?
No, it was a great segment.
Yeah, Tro.
Amazing segment, hilarious,
Yeah.
funny, and it was once again proven that Mr. America is not Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
I don't
I
I don't know
mean,
where Mr. McMahon is getting this from. I honestly don't. Again, the Fu Manchu for Mr. America is a word.
Dave Meltzer.
That thing
He's
is
getting it from
glued
Dave.
on.
He's getting it from Meltzer.
That's it's gotta be. It's gotta be. Because that Fu Manchu was glued on. I swear. Mr. America's, not Hogan's.
Yeah.
observe this.
So next, Mr. McMahon. There's too many Misters in this angle. Mr. McMahon, Mr. America.
Clone
Um,
Vince.
so-
Fuck it.
no, he on the show he is Mr. America. I mean Mr. McMahon.
Oh my God, Mr. America is Vince McMahon. Whatever. Oh my God.
Oh, they were doing some Lisa Kudrow on Friends shit with Phoebe and Ursula. That was it was Mr. McMahon, and then in the Mr. America shit, it was Vince himself as well.
So
Yes.
that's why Mr. America passed when he was asked if he was Hulk Hogan. No,
Oh,
he was telling the
Right.
truth. He's not Mr.
That's
He's
right.
not Hulk Hogan. He is in fact Vince McMahon.
There you go. There you go. So now Mr. McMahon storms into the extremely beautiful Stephanie McMahon's dressing room, and he asks her if she just saw what happened. And then he tells her, "You're responsible for hiring the lie detectors, the people who did the lie detector, and you are responsible for hiring Mr. America." He said, Mr. McMahon says, "Next week things are going to change for the better."
It
And
does
then we
make
follow
sense
up.
that you do that kind of shit. It does make
Yeah.
sense.
Now after that great, hilarious segment, we got to cool the crowd off a little. Sean O'Hare with Roddy Piper taking on Chris Benoit. Rest in peace, Sean O'Hare, and rest in peace, Roddy Piper.
That's a fact.
The match really wasn't nothing. The crowd was dead. But O'Hare got the win on I think on a roll up. Yeah, he hit him in the head from behind and rolled him up for the pin, holding the tights. O'Hare gets the pinfall victory. Now we
Yep.
got a little. Oh, any thoughts on this match? Either of you?
Not really. No.
No, I mean it's Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
boy.
more comments to myself because it's not worth it to go there.
Yeah. So FBI is backstage lifting weights. They're showing they show off their weapons. Like I can't remember what the other two FBI members got, but they got like legitimate weapons. And then they look over to Johnny Stromboli and he pulls out a fucking why am I forgetting the word? Edwin Diaz.
Trumpet.
Trumpet,
Trombone?
yes. He pulls out a trumpet. He pulls out a trumpet. He's like, "I got a weapon for you." He pulls out a freaking trumpet. They all look at him funny and they walk away.
So he's a trumpet supporter. Gotcha.
And then he starts to play Narco on the trumpet, and everyone dances.
Yes, and then Edwin Diaz comes out and saves FBI from getting attacked by Brock Lesnar and Undertaker.
Yep, that's what happens. That's the
Hang on.
canon ending.
Hang on.
So-
Guys, folks, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta use the restroom. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
So at the end of the segment, Stromboli just looks around and goes, "What the hell's so wrong with a trumpet?" Which is a question that Edwin Diaz has been asking. What the hell's so wrong with a trumpet? Edwin Diaz would agree.
I think Edwin Diaz should be asking what's wrong with celebrating on the field after a
Well,
baseball
celebrating on the field for a completely meaningless game, but that's another story for another day. I've never liked I've never liked the WBC, never liked WCBC from day one, and that just is one of the reasons guys can get hurt. I'm still pissed off to this day about John Tavares getting hurt in the Olympics in 2013. Was that 20? That was 2013, right?
I think the Olympics are a little bit different.
Yeah, but it's right in the middle of the season. It was right in the middle of.
It's unfortunate, but at least you get a gold medal for that. At WBC, you get nothing.
I'd rather have a Stanley Cup than a gold medal. I'll say that.
I don't think that 2013 Islanders team was gonna.
No, I know, and let me say this. Let me say we wouldn't be in first place right now if Edwin Diaz would be healthy. Edwin Diaz isn't going to turn this team around.
No.
Yeah. Next we show. Oh, what do you think about that little segment with the FBI there?
Oh, I love seeing the FBI. They're the full-blooded Italians. They're what every New Yorker is.
Yeah, FBI, man, they were great.
They were underrated as a group. They were really good.
Yeah, what do you think about this little segment here?
It was a good segment. It was funny and it was great. I liked it.
Yes. So then they show a video package of Rey Mysterio and Matt Hardy's storyline up to this point, and they show that next week it's going to be Rey Mysterio versus Matt Hardy in a cruiserweight title match. Absolutely phenomenal match. That ended the show too that week.
Yeah,
and that's where Rey won the cruiserweight title in his hometown.
And he also had a backstage segment with Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri, right? His son was there.
We just went. Oh no, not on this show we're talking about, or the next week.
Or next week when Rey Mysterio and Matt Hardy was the main event.
Yeah. It was Eddie and Mysterio where Eddie hyped him up to win the title. Tajiri wasn't in.
But and Dominic was in the crowd.
Yeah, Dominic was in the crowd. Angie was in the crowd. Aaliyah was in the crowd.
I don't think Aaliyah was Aaliyah born yet?
Yeah. She was a baby at this time. She was really young. But she was at.
I know Dominic was there because he's my age. So.
Yes. I still remember in like 2008 or 2009.
His daughter, I'm doing some research. His daughter was born August 20th, 2001.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember when Dom came in like 2009 during the CM Punk. What was CM Punk's group called back then? The Straight Edge Society. Yeah, the Straight Edge Society angle where they were feuding with Rey Mysterio, and they actually brought Dom in, and he's tall as hell. I'm like,
CM Punk antagonizes his daughter singing. Birthday.
Well, he was just doing a good job. He was just singing happy birthday to her. I don't see the problem with that.
Right. No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
You're right.
I remember watching
Ray got mad about nothing. He got, I mean, and we see how Dominic turned out, right? So I mean, obviously he didn't do a good job as a father. Look at Dominic. Look who he's hanging around with.
Right. I remember watching that segment and being like, "Holy shit, that's Dom now! This dude is tall as hell." I only remember him as the kid sitting in the crowd during that cruiserweight title match, and then everything with the angle in 2005. That's Dominic Mysterio I remember. And like all of a sudden, he's this tall motherfucker.
Now he's a wrestler. Now he's wrestling, and
even more crazy.
Great.
Ray's not that tall, and Angie's not that tall. So I guess that only leads to one explanation. Eddie Guerrero. It all makes sense.
It was true all along.
I mean, in kayfabe, it is true.
He does look like he looks more like Eddie than he does Ray.
Well, he doesn't wear a mask. That's the thing.
When you got a face like Dominic, you don't need a mask.
Yeah, true. So you're saying Rey Mysterio's ugly, huh? He's just out here saying Rey Mysterio's ugly. Can you believe this?
No, I'm not saying that because Rey Mysterio has been unmasked. He has been unmasked, so he gets a pass.
Yeah. So you're saying Ultimo Dragon's ugly? Ultimo Dragon never unmasked. So you're saying he's ugly?
Sure.
You're saying Mr. America is ugly?
Mr. America, you're saying he's ugly?
Yeah, I'm saying Vince McMahon is ugly. Yeah,
that is true.
there are people that say Mr. America actually did unmask, but it was like after the show. But like, how the hell you gonna tell us? Only the people who were at that show can know that. You can't tell me that he
Well,
unmasked after the show. If he
look,
didn't unmask it,
it was
what was that?
MSG. It was MSG. They probably brought some guy off the street corner and said, "Hey, dress up as Hulk Hogan and as Mr. America." I mean, come on.
There you go.
Dress up as
It was
who?
New York
Mr.
City in
America?
2003.
Dress up as who is Mr. America?
I'm
That
saying
whole dress up.
they had some guy off the street of New York City dress up as Mr. America
Yeah.
who kind of looked like Hulk Hogan and unmasked. It was a whole thing.
Hang on, Vince and Hulk don't look alike at all.
Right. But
They
that's
tried
not what
to.
he's saying. He's
They-
not saying that they're
And
alike.
don't forget,
He's saying that
SmackDown wasn't live back then, so it was all taped.
True.
Vince McMahon probably went to
Yep.
Stanford and said, "God damn it, pal! You gotta make him look like Hulk Hogan, pal, or you're
Yep.
fired."
Heck, not only was it taped back then, but a lot of the I have prior to the WWE Network becoming a thing, I got like every SmackDown in '03 on DVD thanks to a certain friend, and they all have like stuff that happened during commercial, like the tag team title match we mentioned. There's a commercial break in that. The DVD I was watching on has the freaking in the commercial, the match continuing, and you can actually hear Michael Cole talking to somebody. I believe he says JR. So I guess JR was on doing producing shit at this point. I don't know, but he's like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I meant 11 days from now. My bad, my bad." So he actually talks, and then after the show goes off the air, there's actually a big little segment between Big Show and Undertaker. I mean, Brock and Undertaker, where they sing "Happy Birthday" to one of the stagehands. So yeah, a lot of SmackDown definitely was taped back then. And because of that, you can actually find like pre-edited versions of those SmackDowns from back then, and I have a few of them. So next up, we got Mysterio backstage.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
Copyright.
Yeah. So we got Rey Mysterio backstage. He's wearing a Junior Seau jersey. Rest in peace to Junior Seau. And they interview him about the upcoming match at Mania. He says, not the upcoming match at Mania. What am I saying? The upcoming Cruiserweight title match next week. And he says he's going to get it done, blah, blah, blah. So then Matt Hardy comes out and he's like, well, you better be careful because next week I'm coming after you. And then Rey Mysterio gets a little, gets heated and he's like, no, I'm going to beat you next week, blah, blah, blah. And then Matt Hardy's like, hey, I'm just saying. And then, boom, he kicks him in the groin. Mysterio has an injured groin at this time, so he goes down. So good little segment to, promote next week's main event. Then they show an Ultimo Dragon coming soon video package. But what do you guys think about that interview with Mysterio?
It was interesting. It was fun.
Did you see how big that jersey is on Ray?
Yeah,
It made him look so small.
They're going to be beat on Ray.
It must have been an actual hand me down from Junior Seau. Fucking linebacker.
He looked so goofy in the jersey, and then he gets bitched out at the end.
So, I did mention that we were getting a tag team who turned out to have a big role on SmackDown in 2003, that they were going to make their debut on this show. And that is it here. Ladies and gentlemen, Spanky and Rikishi.
Oh.
Of course, is not the tag team. Of course, is not the tag team I'm referring to here. Spanky and Rikishi take on the Basham Brothers, who are making their debut.
I fucking love the Basham Brothers. I love Shaniqua with the Basham Brothers. Yes,
this was
fantastic. They should have been treated way better than they actually were. I
think they were treated fine.
They were fine.
They got a nice little run.
That is Tough Enough winner, season 2 winner Shaniqua.
Shaniqua, yes.
She won season 2 of Tough Enough, and this is her gimmick.
Yeah, but she is
Oh,
not with them yet. They
I'm sorry,
debut by
not
themselves here.
they were fantastic. They were great when they were in JBL's cabinet as well.
I agree. They did a lot of great stuff, even though they didn't really last that long. They did a lot of great stuff. Their run
you
in
know,
'03 was great
they did
because of
technically
know.
last. They did last a while. I mean, they were in '06. They were the Paul Heyman's security guards.
Yeah,
Yes,
They were the ones
I
in
did
the.
think of that. I did think of that as I said it, but as at that point they were an afterthought. Honestly, with
Oh yeah,
respect to them,
and
at that point they were an afterthought.
Jim Cornette got really mad at WWE for the way that they treated Danny Basham because I guess like Danny Basham was trained by his uncle who was also a wrestler and he was great in like in OVW he was like a world champion and then one day he walks in and he's bald like when he was like in OVW he had like all this hair and everything and he looked cool and then one day he looks like a bald truck driver according to Jim Cornette and he called.
Ye- yeah, because bald guys just don't become stars in pro wrestling, right? Austin Goldberg.
Kurt Angle.
I'm sorry.
Hey, don't shoot the messenger, man. I'm just telling you what Jim Cornette said.
And Kurt Angle didn't debut bald, so I wouldn't count him. I wouldn't
what
count
about
him. Kurt Angle
what
was,
about Kane?
Bobby Lashley.
yeah, Bobby Lashley. Yeah,
Hold on, Stone Cold didn't debut bald. He
Yeah.
had hair.
he did. Well, not in WWE. He did. In WWE, he did.
Oh, he had hair in
Maybe
WWE.
not.
He had hair in
Did
WWE
he?
when he debuted.
He's
He had
like kind of peach fuzz.
like a
I
buzz,
wouldn't call.
but
Yeah, I
yeah,
wouldn't call it full hair though.
He was.
It's
Yeah,
not
I think I
fuzz.
remember now. I think I remember now. But yeah.
you fucking.
So, well, at least this. At least Kurt Angle was a star long before that hair versus hair match. Austin became a star when he was bald. I'll put it that way.
Fair
As
enough.
did Goldberg. As did Goldberg. So, this match was pretty entertaining. The crowd was loving Rikishi and Spanky here, even though they really didn't last. They were like a thrown together tag team for like one match. But and this was that match. But
Rikishi's
it was
guy too hottie.
yeah, that's next year. But so towards the end of the match, the Basham brothers get a little welcome to WWE moment where they both get slammed into the corner and both get the stink face. But right after that, they attack Rikishi from behind, get the pinfall victory, and then Spanky and Rikishi dance to react. The crowd reacted to it. It was nice. Little, this was it. It's not exactly like some the team angle to Eddie Guerrero to Jerry match, but it was still an entertaining tag match for what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have anything to add to that?
Not really. I love the Bastards. They were great. They're underrated in my opinion.
I agree. Like I said, they were a big part of SmackDown, not just '03, but even early '04. There's actually a show that I want to review in the future, like after we do Rumble '07, where they actually open up the show. I'll get to that a little later. I'll mention that when we start talking about what we're going to do next week. Now, or in the future. Now we get to hey, when the heel is being a heel all throughout the night, there's got to be something, especially when he's parked in a handicap parking lot. There's got to be a spot where he pays for it.
Yeah,
He gets shit all over his face, and that's what happens here. We're in the parking lot, and Mr. McMahon gets introduced to Lizard Lick Towing as Ronnie Shirley comes out and just tows that limo away. And speaking of that, have you guys ever watched that show? Lizard Lick Towing. Thank you, Tro. Tro knows what. Tro got the reference.
AKA
See, I knew.
AKA Bobby gets his ass kicked every toe.
Something they did do some episodes where, and I was watching one today. They did an episode where they switched places. Bobby became the tow truck driver, and what's his name? Ronnie had to be, the guy who went out and got his ass kicked. So they did give Bobby some moments, but yeah, for the most part, he would always be the guy that had to, either fight people or get his ass kicked. I wish that show lasted longer, man. Fuck True TV. Hardcore Pawn and Lizard Lick Towing carried that network in the 2010s. And True TV all of a sudden wanted, in like mid 2010s, decided we're not doing this reality TV shit no more. So we're going to cancel
Practical
those.
Jokers happened.
Yeah.
And Practical Jokers was on. Yeah, but Impractical Jokers was started right in the midst of Hardcore Pawn and Lizard Lick. Lizard Lick actually started the same year as True Impractical Jokers, 2011.
Oh,
yeah.
So True TV is like
some of the Impractical Jokers stuff is pretty funny. I like the one. I like the episode, or I don't know if it's the episode, but I like the one prank that they do on Q, where he has to go speak at like a feminist like conference or whatever, and he gives like the most sexist answers. It's fucking hilarious.
It was. The Impractical Jokers is hilarious, even though I got into it late. I got into it a couple years ago, but I've seen like every episode. Thank you, Max.
Max, the one where Sal has to give a speech at a wedding that he knows nothing about. That was pretty fun.
The one where Q gets has to have a match with Tommy Dreamer at House of Hardcore.
Yes.
The one where I like the one where it's Murr, and he has to give like a food thing. Oh, you're frozen again, Tro. But he has to give like a food thing and like a food like lesson, and they fill his mouth with fucking Novocaine.
Yeah, the one where Murr has to keep walking up to this lady in a party, and he has to like try to wrestle the girl. She's like some strong woman, so she always kicks his ass. And at one point, she like flips him over through a table. That was hilarious too.
There's also one I like where I forgot what it was. Hang on. Just continue. Hang on.
Yeah, like I was saying, True TV, they were fucking assholes, man. They're like, we're changing everything up. So not only are we canceling
I got it. I like the one where Sal is he's got to do the prank, and they tell him that he has to start crying like he's on the phone with somebody, and they're like, okay, now start crying. And so he's like, this is the worst news ever, and he's crying like legit, right? And then they go, okay, now Sal, say it's gonna rain tomorrow. I can't believe it's gonna rain tomorrow, right? He's fucking crying. He's like near sobbing, and the lady that he's talking to, he's like, I have an umbrella you could borrow.
Yeah. So as I was saying, True TV becomes assholes. They're like, we're totally changing everything up. We're not only canceling Lizard Lick and Hardcore Pawn, but we're never gonna air it on our damn networks ever again. They totally just got rid of that shit. Thank you to Amazon Prime, because both those shows are available to buy on Amazon Prime, and I have every
buying episodes of TV shows. Fuck that.
I have every episode on Amazon Prime because they're not available on DVD. They're only available on Prime. So I brought every season of each show. But anyway, getting back to it. So Vince McMahon is out in the parking lot area. He sees that Ronnie Shirley's towing that limo away, and he's yelling at his driver, how the hell you let this happen? How did you let this happen? What the hell's going on here? The tow truck, the limousine driver is like, you told me to park it in a handicap spot, and this is what happens. And Vince Mr. McMahon is like, you tell that tow truck driver that I need to go to the airport, and since you can't drive me, he's gonna drive me myself. Now open the door
himself.
Yeah. So the limousine driver opens the door. Vince gets in, and speaking of Lizard Lick Towing, I learned this on Lizard Lick Towing. Something that WWE maybe should have looked into. You cannot tow a vehicle away if somebody is in it. And that's what happened here. They actually towed the limousine away with Vince in it. And then you see this cane that's knocking on the window, and when Vince rolls down the window, and it's Zach Gowen, and Zach like, well, Vince, shouldn't have parked at a handicap area. That's not really good of you to do that. That's not a good thing. And then the tow truck driver starts driving away, and Vince gets pissed. No, driver, let me get out. I want to kick this son bitch's ass. Don't, no, stop the car, stop the car. I want to get out and kick this son bitch's ass. So Vince gets Zach gets a little revenge on Vince for all the the evil shit he has done on this show with
This is
parking in a
first
handy.
prevails. Hell yeah. Sorry.
Yes, yes, and that's why this was a great angle, man. It wasn't just Mr. McMahon. Everybody makes it out like this angle was Vince McMahon himself, showing that like he can be a jerk to handicapped people. It's showing he's evil. He's being evil to this handicapped guy. No, first of all, in reality, he's giving a one-legged person, a one-legged man, the opportunity to showcase what he can do on television. And not only that, this guy is brand new. He's pretty much brand new. I know that he had been on Impact. He did some weekly pay-per-views for Impact, but he is still pretty brand new to pro wrestling, and he is already in a main event feud with Mr. McMahon himself. And
That's
of
a hell of an
course,
opportunity.
yeah, of course, the evil Mr. McMahon is going to be an absolute jerk to him, because what else would the angle be if Mr. McMahon's not a jerk to him? It wouldn't be interesting if he wasn't a jerk to the guy. And of course, it wasn't always Mr. McMahon's going to do whatever he can, and Zach Gowen never gets the revenge. Zach Gowen got his revenge on this night. There were other nights where Zach Gowen got his revenge. It was a great angle, man. It was one of the better angles of 03.
True. I love Zach Gowen, man. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Then they show the Desire video from Kurt Angle with the music of Coldplay's Clocks. And then we go to the main event. 2-on-3 handicap match. FBI comes out. Oh, well, first Brock Lesnar and Undertaker comes out. Then the FBI comes out. Nunzio tells everybody, guess what? I'm injured. I can't wrestle this match. But Brock, Undertaker, I got the perfect replacement for me. Big Show's music hits, and it's FBI.
Well, it's a big show.
Well, it's a full-blooded Big Show.
Full-blooded Italian Big Show.
Yes.
So 2-on-3 handicap here. FBI and Big Show against Brock Lesnar and Undertaker. At one point late in the match, the FBI just get the jump on Big Show, and FBI get the jump on Brock Lesnar, and they end up leading to getting a win after jumping Brock Lesnar. They won off a choke slam and got the pin. This was a pretty fun main event. I would say this is the match of the night. The crowd was into it. They were definitely behind Brock Lesnar and Undertaker. You got the two biggest stars on SmackDown at the time here. You got one of the biggest heels outside of Mr. McMahon and Big Show. It was a fun little match. And FBI getting a little main event love. I like that too.
Yeah, that was a great match. It was a great main event. It was a good show.
Tro, you got
what?
Oh, wait, go ahead. You can continue if you got something.
Oh no, go ahead, Tro.
I think it was a good match. It's always nice to see Big Evil Undertaker in
I missed
his,
that version. That version so bad.
his last few months as Big Evil.
That's true too, yeah.
And this is right before his feud with Cena.
Yep.
Another
great feud from 03.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, this was a good show. Obviously, the highlight of the show was the lie detector test stuff, but all the segments with Vince were great. He was a great heel. Man. Vince was a fantastic villain, and Zach Gowen was such a great babyface. For me, I think I would give this show 6.5 out of 10.
Ooh, wow. Okay, Tro, what would you give it?
I give it a 6.
Damn, y'all. Okay, I give it a 9.5. This is a fun show.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good show. Um,
Good
but yeah,
I
show.
love I love the lie detector. The lie detector test was an amazing segment. The everything with Vince, the parking in the handicap spot, all that stuff. You got a couple of great tag matches: Team Angle and Eddie Guerrero Tajiri, and then the 3-on-2 handicap. Tajiri and Eddie were great together. There's just a lot to love on this show. So
plus
you
Tori.
picked. Oh yeah, of course. Tori and Nydia kicking off the show was very entertaining. Don't forget that too. Yeah, this was definitely 9.5 out of 10 for me. I cannot see. I look. You guys have your opinions. I personally cannot see this rating this show 6 or 6.5. But that's your opinions, and you guys should stick to it, as I would say. But next is your pick, Christian. So go ahead, and then I'll pick what I
We
want
are
after
doing
that.
Royal
You
Rumble.
already picked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are doing Royal Rumble 2007, which was the one
Yes.
where Undertaker and Shawn Michaels were the last two in the ring, I believe. And
Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot of good stuff on that show, and we're gonna review it.
And
Yes.
then for me, I picked after that the October 11th, 1999 Raw, which takes place at the Georgia Dome, which we've gone over that. So we've gone over both of those shows. Now, what do you want after that Raw? Because I
Uh,
have something that I already have picked. So what do
okay.
you want?
Well, after Royal Rumble 7, my next pick would probably be um, Survivor Series 2001. Did you ever do that one?
Ooh. Yeah. Yes,
Did
we
we?
did. Yes, we did. Yes, we
Or
did.
are we
Yeah.
sure? Are you sure we didn't do Invasion? We did a Survivor Series 01.
You did Invasion.
Oh,
I You decided to do that without me for whatever reason, but we did do Survivor Series '01.
sure.
There was at that time when you did the Invasion pay-per-view, we also did like an Invasion where we just talk about the angle, and then we did a ton of shows revolving around that angle, including Survivor Series '01. If you want to do a show revolving around the invasion angle, I have a suggestion. I have two suggestions that we did not go over that you might want to pick.
What?
We did not review SummerSlam '01, and we did not. No, actually, we did. We did review SummerSlam '01. Okay, I have one suggestion then. We did not review Unforgiven '01. You want to do
Well,
that?
that's the next one we're gonna do. Unforgiven 2001.
Okay, sounds great. And now I have a SmackDown that is near and dear to my heart. Uh,
You have a
No Way
heart.
Out 2000. Shut the hell up. No Way Out 2004 is the first pay. No Way Out 2004 is the first pay per view I ever saw on pay per view, and the
Gotcha.
next night, not the next night, the next SmackDown after that, I was so excited that Eddie had won the title that I decided to record this show. And not only did I record it that night, but I still have that recording to this day on a freaking transferred to a DVD now with the commercials and everything. So, but yeah, this is SmackDown near and dear to my heart. It's the February 19th, 2004 SmackDown after Eddie Guerrero won the title, where they have the celebration, and then at the end of the night, it's Chavo versus Eddie, champion versus champion.
I'm glad you picked a February SmackDown because my birthday's in February.
Yeah, February 19th, 2004. So Tro, we've gone. You're going to be here for the Rumble '07.
Yep.
Well, the October 11th '99 Raw is added to there. I don't know if you want to do that, but what did you? Oh yeah, Unforgiven '01.
Yeah.
Do you want? Okay. Do you want to be a part of that?
Sure.
All right. What about the SmackDown February 19th, '04?
Of course.
All right, we got it. So all three of us will be a part of three of those four upcoming shows at least.
Yeah. Do you have any shows coming up with Nat?
We haven't. We At some point we're gonna start our new generation of Raw reviews, and then I believe after that we're also reviewing WrestleMania 10. But those are to be determined. Those are not like we're gonna be doing them on this day. Those are to be determined.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, folks. with that being said, he's Frank, he's Tro, I'm CJ. We thank you all for tuning in, for watching, and we will see y'all in the future.